On the eve of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to France to attend the Bastille Day Parade celebrations on July 30, the European Parliament passed a resolution on the violence in Manipur. What was the exact resolution and who were the debaters who were a part of this discussion? Also, why does the church seem to invest so much time in India's internal matters? Let us find out the truth in this video. Hello and welcome, I am Shreya and you're watching the Pamphlet. A resolution titled India, the Situation in Manipur was brought forth by 5 parliamentary factions, namely the Left Greens European Free Alliance, the Centre-Right European People's Party, the Centre-Left Progressive Alliance of Socialists and Democrats, the Liberal Renew Group and the right-wing European Conservatives and Reformists group. Together, if we see, all these factions account for nearly 80% of the MEPs in the 705-member parliament. Now let us first take a deep dive into the MEPs who were involved in the debate. You will be shocked to see how the regime changers are subtle in their propaganda and use so-called human rights violation as a shield to further their agenda. Pierre Larrouturou, he was the one to initiate the debate. In one of his tweets, he wrote that India used to be a true democracy. It's time it becomes one again. Quite a farcical statement from someone who himself has no locus standi in India's internal matters. Notably, during the debate, he also mentioned how NGOs working in India have been disrupted by the government of India. Should I ask, which NGO is he talking about? Is he talking about the ones that are backed by the church and are accused of financial irregularities and tax evasion? Well, the law of the land must be respected. This picture that you're seeing on screen is from 2022. Where Pierre Larrouturou is seen holding a placard saying "Free Teesta Setalwad and Zubair." Many of us may be aware that Teesta Setalwad has been accused of embezzling funds collected in the name of 2002 Gujarat right victims, and on the other hand, so-called fact-checker Mohammad Zubair was arrested for hurting religious sentiments. Now next we move on to MEP Alviina Alametsä. The Finnish MP recently visited India and participated in a discussion along with lawyer activist Anand Grover, Prashant Bhushan and Shahrukh Alam. And guess who hosted the talk? Foundation London Story. Foundation London Story has links with Jamaat and ISI and is associated with anti-India individuals such as Sunita Vishwanath and Rashid Ahmed. Also in an op-ed in 2021, she stated that India's human rights defenders deserve EU support. Which human rights defender she's talking about? In fact, last year, she wrote an open letter on the death anniversary of Father Stan Swamy, who was prosecuted under UAPA. In a letter, she also talked about G.N. Sai Baba and Teesta Setalwad. To tell you, G.N. Sai Baba is currently in jail for being linked with terror organizations. Next, we will talk about MEP Bert-Jan Ruissen. This Dutch politician in his debate stated that across India, those who are not Hindu in particular, Christians, are facing growing intolerance, violence, humiliation, discrimination. While scrolling through his tweets, we noticed that he often comments about alleged Christian human rights violations in India. Interestingly, Ruissen hosted a conference in 2021 on the situation of human rights in India, where Shabnam Hashmi was a speaker. In 2016, foreign funding license for Shabnam Hashmi's NGO Anhad was revoked, in which Harsh Mandar was also a trustee. Recently, the FCRA license of Harsh Mandar's Center for Equity Studies was also revoked. In fact, in the past, Harsh Mandar's NGO had received aid from Netherlands-based Partnership Foundation. By the way, Foundation The London Story is also based in Hague, Netherlands. Is it then a coincidence that the Netherlands-based politician raises the religious conversion and Christianity issue in the EU Parliament? So here is what we know so far about foreign organizations' concerns on Manipur issues. Communist Party of India leaders go on a fact-finding mission to Manipur in the last week of June and claim the violence was state-sponsored. One of the CPI leaders who went there, Diksha Dwivedi, is associated with the Human Rights Law Network. HRLNS Colin Gonsalves is an NGO representing cookies in the Supreme Court. The Kuki tribe is predominantly Christian. HRLNS has received funding from George Soros. Other donors to HRLN include Christian Aid, US Embassy and European Commission. Christian Aid also funds various NGOs in India, many of which are accused of tax evasion and various other financial frauds. Most of these NGOs are associated with notorious elements of the anti-India brigade. The US ambassador in India, Eric Garcetti, who has human rights at his core policy, raises the Manipur issue while in Kolkata, West Bengal. Ambassador Garcetti is not only one of the most trusted men of US President Joe Biden, but also of America's intelligence agency, Central Investigative Agency. He was asked a specific question about the Christian minority in Manipur, whereas the truth is, Hindus and Christians are almost equal in Manipur. One thing that connects them all is the church. Therefore, we'll now be coming to the issue of Christians raised in the EU Parliament. Ruissen had tweeted that several churches have been destroyed, a claim which was repeated by many MEPs as they try to portray Manipur violence as an attack on Christians, while it is the Kuki tribe consisting of mostly Christians who have been the violent one. Sven Simon in fact gave a numerical figure of 250 churches being burnt down in the Manipur violence. This seems kind of a strange figure because as per some data, there are in total 75 Christian churches in Manipur. Wait, isn't it the entire international debate about so-called rising Islamophobia? How are suddenly Christians facing growing intolerance, violence, humiliation and discrimination? MEP Ruissen stated that the anti-conversion laws in different federal states is the reason for such humiliation on Christians. But factually speaking, forceful religious conversion in many parts of India is a criminal offense. In many cases, Hindus, especially those of lower castes as well as belonging to tribal communities, are lured into converting to Islam or Christianity, offering them money, better job prospects or food. We've also often seen how in some cases the perpetrator hides his religious identity and entraps a person into a love affair and on pretext of marriage gets them to convert their religion. This is often romanticized by liberals as love, but it is not love if it is founded on deceit. Surely, interreligious marriages take place and some even have their happily ever after, but the love jihad is a reality in India that should not be dismissed. Now, connecting all these issues of Manipur violence, attack on Christians and the links of NGOs that were discussed in the EU Parliament, we should, on the contrary, ask the EU Parliament to discuss and fix the issues in their own homes and not interfere in India's internal matters. Why are they overlooking the violence in France and Sweden? Let us know your opinion in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. If you liked the content, do like, share and subscribe to our channel, The Pamphlet.